Hi guys, my name is Emily, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be wrapping up the books that I read in June, starting off with The Wolves of Cullum by Stephen King. This is the 5th book in the Dark Tower series. I am working on a reading project, #DTProject17, in which I read the Dark Tower series for the first time and record my thoughts. So I started this book in May, it was May's book, and it wrapped over into June. I finished it right at the beginning. I really enjoyed this book. There's really not much I can say about it because spoilers. They're going to do like the good person questy thing, help the people, and we get a lot more world building. We have a lot more things brought into question. So I did really enjoy this, and I would encourage you to follow along with the series and check in with me there about the series and spoilery things on each video. The next book I have here was a gift from Indigo. So we had to do this activity where we interacted with a partner the way we would with a customer and then picked out a gift for them. And my partner picked out The Day the Crayons Quit by Daywalt and Oliver Jeffers. So this is a book about the crayons in the box all complaining about how they are being used, and they decide to quit because they don't want to do the same thing or they don't want to not be used anymore. And it's really cute. The illustrations are gorgeous, and I'm so thankful to my coworker for picking this out for me. And if you haven't read this and you have some young people in your life, I would definitely recommend picking this up. The next book that I read in June was Tash Hearts Tolstoy by Kathryn Ormsbee. Now this is a book that has been circulating around BookTube recently. We have an asexual heteroromantic narrator who is working on an online video series equivalent to the what are they called? The Lizzie Bennet Diaries? They are doing a YouTube adaptation of Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. It looks at what happens when you gain internet fame and internet following. So their little web series gets a shout out from a big YouTuber, and all of a sudden everything explodes. It's interesting to see people recognizing that this is a thing for a lot of young people, that we are online and that we're facing different things from different people and what that experience must be like. It's very now. And then also that we have an asexual heteroromantic narrator is important. We don't get a lot of ace representation in literature, and I think this was really important. It was a really good exploration and explanation of asexuality, and I did really enjoy this. The next book I have here is Goodbye Days by Jeff Zentner. This is the story of Carver Briggs, whose 3 best friends die in a car accident that he kind of sort of caused. So he texts one of his friends who he knows is driving because he knows that that friend will respond to the text message the quickest, and obviously his friend looks at the text message and then gets in a car accident and dies. So Carver loses 3 of his closest friends going into his senior year of high school, and he is dealing with that grief and that trauma and that guilt and the reactions of the friends and family of his 3 best friends, who it's known that the friend died while texting Carver back. It is didactic, but not in a super like shove it down your throat way, which is what I was sort of anticipating. It does have that message, but it's also an exploration of grief and of healing and of moving forward, and an exploration of friendships and relationships and what these things mean to us. It was so good. It made me cry in public. I do not cry easily when I read books. I cry easily watching movies and TV shows, but not books. But this brought me to tears, like ugly, blubbering tears, several times. It hit me in the feels, and I loved this so much that I actually decided to buy a copy of the book and support the author, because oftentimes I get sent an ARC and I'm like, yeah, that's good enough. I'll keep the ARC. If I ever want to reread it, I have the ARC. Here I actually bought the book. I loved it that much, and if you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. The last book I read in June was a buddy read with JD Estrada, links to his channel down below. That is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Now, I didn't super love this. Like, I think the story is fascinating, I think the characters are fascinating, I think the idea of gods and what we worship and imported gods is fascinating. I had some really great conversations with my buddy. It was a wonderful buddy read experience, but I think I had hyped this book up way too much. I had heard for so long how great this was, how much I was going to love it, from people in real life, at work, online, that I had just like massive expectations for this book, and obviously it didn't live up to them. I think this is probably my biggest disappointment of 2017 so far, because I was anticipating it so much. Like, I liked it, but I thought I was gonna love it. I thought this was gonna blow my mind, and it didn't. It was a little bit of a disappointment. It was, well, it wasn't a little bit of a disappointment. It was a lot of a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. This will be a book that I reread, and it will probably be a book that I love on a reread because I have more realistic expectations for the story. All of the elements for me liking it are there. It's just I had too much hype in my head. So these are the books that I read in June. Let me know in the comments down below, what is one book that you read this June that you really, really liked? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!